Okja is a new social commentary film directed by Boon Joon-ho, I don't know, and he's directed some other really good films before, like Snowpiercer, Mother, The Host, Memories of Murder. He's done a lot of really good films, and I just found Okja to be a little heavy-handed about the social commentary, and basically that meat is murder. And I found the tone to be very odd with how it fluctuated between almost being like a cartoon about this young girl that loves this super pig and has to go and rescue it, and between that and being like a really over-the-top meat eaters are bad, and CEOs are really bad, and animal handlers that help CEOs of animal industry, the meat industry, are really bad too. And then you even have this other part where it gets really gory and brutal, where it makes the stuff a little hard to watch, that it's just not an enjoyable movie to me.
Our super pigs will not only be big and beautiful, they will also leave a minimal footprint on the environment, consume less feed, and produce less excretions. And most importantly, they need to taste fucking good.
This movie was released by Netflix, and it also came with my Netflix finally getting the thumbs up and down instead of the real rating system of the stars, which they're really annoying, but that's neither here nor there. But the setup of the film is that the meat industry are creating a new meat for the world to eat because there are millions of people starving. So right off the bat, it looks like, okay, this is a good thing, even though the CEO, Tilda Swinton, is really over the top. And when you get to, okay, they're going to send 26 of the super pigs, and these super pigs are kind of like, they almost look more like hippopotamuses, but I guess, those are called river pigs, so it kind of works. And they're odd. Like, the CG is pretty good. Like, sometimes it looks cartoonish, or sometimes it almost looks real. But the design is a little odd, just because it has, like, one giant boob with, like, a giant nipple on it. It's, like, supposed to be, like, an udder, like a cow, I guess, with, like, one udder. But when I first saw the cartoon, I was like, is it a dude? Or is it, like, it's odd. And there's a lot of like, poop humor. Like, multiple times, like, the Okja's farting and firing her poop all over the place like a machine gun. And it's just really cartoonish. But, basically they sent 26 super pigs around the world to where the meat industry has different businesses, and they are supposed to raise them however they would, and after 10 years, they have a contest for who is the best super pig. And the one that we get to see is in Korea, like on top of a mountain, and Okja is being raised by a little girl named Miha, played by Seo-hyeon, and her parents had died, and she'd been raised by a grandfather, and Okja is her best friend. And, the first, 15-20 minutes is just, her and Okja playing around in the forest and the mountains, and almost dying and having Okja save her. And, I mean, that part of the movie is pretty endearing. Like, I really enjoyed the opening of the movie. But then, of course, the meat industry people, as they come and they want to take Okja away. And that's when it starts to get a little odd, because there's a guy playing, like, the face of the company is supposed to be, like, an animal handler, like an animal expert, like a celebrity. And that's Jake Gyllenhaal. And I love Jake Gyllenhaal. He's one of my favorite actors. But in this role, he is so over the top. Like, it's weird. And, of course, they take Okja, and she has to go after him. Then they bring in the Animal Liberation Front, and they're really cartoonish too. They're kind of like that. Like even them, almost all of them they're kind of like not great people. Like they're all kind of portrayed like they're all kind of douchebags. The only good person is Miha, and then Okja. However, after a certain point in the movie, it seems like they get rid of that and they mostly just turn into heroes, and the evil corporation are the really bad people. And that's fine. This movie has a message and it wants to pass it off that meat is murder and you shouldn't eat meat. And I just don't agree with that. And as a movie, it's just, I don't know, it's kind of stupid. For like what actually happens, like when they get, there's some stuff that it's Okja goes through some shit, and it's hard to watch, and it's, I don't know, I see what they're trying to do there. I'm sure like it's all stuff that actually happens to cows and pigs. But, it's almost how it's portrayed. They're trying to portray it like an animal holocaust. And it's just a little bit of a stretch. I mean, yeah, the meat industry they're not great. They're kind of evil, yeah. Because, I mean, it would only take like $1 or a couple cents for every piece of meat that the Americans buy to have it be slaughtered in a less evil way, like a less torturous way. They could be raised in fields instead of factories, and they could have a lot better lives than we give them for very little money. But they're pitching pennies. They don't want to even, like, they don't care about what suffering they put the animal through, even though we need the meat. It's a difficult problem to tackle, and especially because these super pigs, they would be incredibly helpful for our environment and for all the people that are hungry, because they never really show, like, they show Okja eating like one fruit thing. It looks like a bell pepper, but it was growing out of a tree, and that's like the only time we ever see it eat, I believe. But then you see it multiple times firing shit all over the place. So, and then they even say that they hardly require any food, and they leave a low impact on the environment. And yeah, that's great, although it doesn't really make sense for how big they are, and if they'd actually give energy to people, because you can't just magically create the energy. They have to get that big, they have to imbibe calories. And so that is kind of somehow they're like magic, but they don't really ever explain that. And also, it is a little tough because their intelligence, you don't know how intelligent they are, because they're at least intelligent as pigs, but you see some things where it almost has humanity in Okja's eyes, and so you have to figure that they're smarter than pigs. So it kind of become an issue of, is it okay to you have them as livestock? But, as a whole, the movie was just kind of depressing and all over the place and too long. Like, there's a lot of weird stuff, too, with Tilda Swinton, where she's playing, like, two characters, and you just don't give a shit about her. I couldn't, the movie would have been fine without her even in it. And, like, you don't even know, like, what's the point of this battle between the two sisters. It's just kind of weird. And as a whole, I didn't enjoy it. It was, like, I had to watch something else funny for eye bleach after, some of the stuff towards the end of the movie. And I didn't enjoy it. I think it has such a clear message that it was trying to put through. And it did it through this cutesy super pig and this little girl that loves her. And it's just, I don't know, it's an odd movie that I wouldn't recommend. I'd probably give it like a 6.5 out of 10. But thanks for watching, and you can check out my other video playlist around my head.